Welcome to a crazy playoff weekend we had. But that's before we get started. I got a surprise for Deets, a new intro. I got a new intro for you, Deets.
Excellent. Let's
Let's
see it.
let's see it.
Best dressed man in wrestling right here. Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. It ain't no doubt. It ain't no doubt. Flair, bring that old cashmere coat out here. Gee, I love.
Can't help it that I'm custom made. I can't help it that I look good, smell good, can dance all night long. I
Woo! That's all. Rick Flair. Rick Flair is amazing.
I know you would like that old school wrestler right there.
Absolutely.
All right, let's get started, man. Let's start from the AFC divisional game first and move up. What's your thoughts about that struggling Bill team? Was you expecting the Bills to struggle that bad?
Um, kind of. Yeah. It worked. It played out the way I expected it to play out. The Bills have played like that all year long. And I mean, you can't talk about the AFC playoffs without talking about the as I'm going to start calling him now, the champ. Joe Burrow is just amazing. What Joe Burrow has done in his football career is outstanding. And everybody brushes it off, but the guy's never played a full season without playing in a championship game. I mean, no one else can say that they've done that. High school, college, and professional. If he's played the entire year, he's played in a championship game. And there's not a single person you could say that about. So there's no doubt in my mind that if Joe Burrow plays all next year, they'll be back in the AFC Championship game, if not the Super Bowl. Until somebody snaps this streak, we have to go with we have to go with the historical data that we have.
It's amazing, man. And the 1-2 of P. Ryan and Joe Nixon is official. Is official, man. It kind of remind me of that. Remember when the Chargers had that 1-2 with what's that big boy name that you said back in the day with LT? What was the big guy name he had? It was like a big running back with LT when he ran for like 12 touchdowns. I forgot his name. Anyway, it's like a lightning, lightning and thunder type situation, man. P. Rhyme and
yeah. I mean, you think about that. I mean, the 1-2 punch there. Then you've got the 1-2-3 punch at wide receiver with Chase, Higgins, and Boyd. And then you throw Hayden Hurst into the mix.
And people was calling him. They were saying he was done after he left Baltimore, and he just revived his career with the Bengals.
Yeah,
and I think, I'm not trying to be controversial, but I think that was a touchdown by Jamar Chase. It looked like a touchdown to me. In the end zone, they said it wasn't a touchdown.
Oh no, yeah, he dropped the ball.
He dropped it to you.
Mm-hmm. He established 2 feet and then he dropped the ball and then he dropped the ball down to the other hand, and when he did that, his second foot landed out of bounds. So it was close, but he didn't catch that one.
But like I heard a report, I think it might have been Tony Romo, but Higgins could probably be a sure number one anywhere else. I really believe that. He's a boss.
Absolutely could. And we've seen Higgins play this way all throughout his career, all throughout his college career, all through he's always been an established target. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. He's the last guy the Bills want to see ever getting on the field.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Terminator. That's what I'm gonna call him. Terminator.
Yeah, he took out 2 more Bills last. He took out 2 more Bills. He took out 2 Bills in one play.
Hey, but Deeds,
in one play, he took out 2 more Bills, and he nearly killed one of them.
I'm just saying, 6'5", 220, lowering his shoulder. That's too much. He got a tight end body, playing receiver, and that's just too much. But like I said, man, that running game, it looked like they was getting 10 a pop. You know what I mean? It looked like they was getting 10 a pop. And that defense was lights out.
And for the Bengals, I mean, they're going into Kansas City, and Kansas City, a banged up Kansas City, and there's nobody else that everybody else would go into Kansas City and be like, all right, this is going to be a tough game. Cincinnati's 3-0 against them in a calendar year.
Yeah.
In a calendar year, they're 3-0 again. They're going in there with the uttermost confidence. This is a scary Cincinnati team.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm saying, man. I think when Von Miller went out, man, they lost a pass rusher. You know what I mean? They'll never recover. You know, that defense was never the same after Von Miller.
The Bills lost a lot of their identity when they couldn't get the pass rush. When they had to start blitzing to get pass rush, and it took away from it took a lot away from their secondary. Their secondary couldn't man up the way they wanted to. So it exposes a lot of different things. So you're right. They definitely took it definitely took a lot away.
And you know what I mean, Devin Ozzie. You know what I mean? I remember when he left from the New England, I said, man, it might be the end for him. But blocking, he looked good that game blocking. You know what I mean? He's looking pretty good in their system, blocking and maybe get the ball once in a while. But he's looking good in their system for the Bengals.
I mean, that was the issue with the Bengals last year was, can they protect the quarterback? Well, we haven't seen that problem yet this year.
That line looked way better than last year. That line looks way better than last year.
This is a team we usually get teams that go to the Super Bowl and they fall off. This is a team that went to the Super Bowl, learned a lot of lessons by going to that Super Bowl, and they went out and fixed those deficiencies this year. So the Bengals are looking really good, but they are heading into the Chiefs. So, and as we said before, even though they beat them before, now it becomes the big show. And you know, Pat Mahomes, I don't care how banged up Pat Mahomes is, he's still going to throw for 300 yards. And it's just inevitable. So that defense, the Bengals defense better be ready. And, you know, Andy Reid's going to have something for him.
And, you know what I mean? That's another game, man. I liked it what they did with Toomey. That you know what I mean? That getting Toomey in the trade, and they used him pretty good. Hardman, and they're looking pretty good. But I'm thinking this Bengal team can get them out of there, man. That's how greedy they are playing on defense and offensively. That 1-2 running back thing, lightning and thunder, and the receivers stretching them out.
The Bengals aren't going to be afraid, but revenge is a dish best served cold, and Kansas City is going to. It's not going to be a pushover going into Kansas City.
It's definitely not, but he's hurt. You know what I mean? We saw that injury. He did get hit hard. That leg, it looked like he got an ankle sprain or something. I'm not a doctor.
I like how they made it a big issue in the second game. They made it a big issue in the pregame. Patrick Mahomes will play in the champion in the AFC Championship game. I'm like, he came back in the other game, so of course he's going to play.
Of course.
What are you talking about? We already knew this. So I think he's definitely, the injury is going to saddle him. But like I said, his injury, he's still going to throw for 300 yards. It's Patrick Mahomes.
I just think they're just going to get the ball out of his hand real quick. You know what I mean? It's not going to be too much, too many dropbacks. You know what I mean? Putting pressure on that ankle or that leg. I think it's going to be real quick throws.
Now the question's going to be, can they muster up some kind of a running game?
That's the biggest thing, man. That's the biggest thing for them.
And it's not like they don't have the horse. It's not like they don't have the horses to do it. They have plenty. They have plenty of backs there that can shoulder the load. So, I think they have to do a lot. They're going to have to do a lot of different things. They're going to have to do things a little bit differently to play for that injury. But the pieces are there. Mm-hmm. Kansas City's built for this moment. They got it on their home field. There's no reason why they shouldn't. There's no reason why they shouldn't win. The only reason they shouldn't win is Cincinnati has guys too. So these are the two best teams that we're looking at. They're the two best teams in the AFC, and they were there all year. So. Mm-hmm.
No doubt, D. Let's get into, you know what I mean, about your Cowboys, man.
The Cowboys didn't want to win. They did not want to win the game. I don't know whether it was players or whether it was the coaching staff clearly didn't want to win. They just didn't want to win the game. And you could tell it, the sequence that tells you they did not want to win the game is a minute 24 left in the half. They 2nd and 2. Tony Pollard goes down to injury. 2nd and 2. You throw the football. What are you doing? Run the ball, get a first down, and run the clock out of the half, and that way you go to the end zone. The ball either goes to the end zone or you go to halftime, you kick the field goal, and you get the ball back. You have the lead at halftime, and you get the ball. But no, the Dallas Cowboys, no. It's 2nd and 2. We're going to throw the ball. They throw the ball. Dak throws an interception, and the 49ers drive down the field, get a field goal. They lead 9-6 at halftime, and that was it. That was the end of the Dallas Cowboys. So it's the age-old thing. I mean, football has changed, but it's still the same. It's still the same thing. First downs win you football games. Get a first down, and you can keep going. The Dallas Cowboys seem to be caught up in this, it's a new age of football where big plays will win us the game. No, big plays don't win you the game. First down after first down after first down. That's what wins you the game. The more first downs you get, the better your team is going to be. But the Dallas Cowboys don't seem to care about that. And, that was it. That was the entire game. And you saw in the second half, San Francisco figured out that the Cowboys don't have anybody who can cover George Kittle. And they went to George Kittle every big play. Every big play that they needed to, they found Kittle. They found him a matchup that he could exploit, and that's it. That's why the Cowboys lost. So again, as a Cowboys fan, I I came to terms with it. When I watched that drive and I said, why are you throwing the ball on 2nd and 2? We don't want to win. Our coaching staff does not want to win the game. They clearly wanted to do something else, and they don't want to do the things that you have to do to win football games. So that's what the Cowboys did. The 49ers they play that game. That game was set up for the Cowboys to win. I mean, everything was there. It's not like the 49ers blew them out. It's not like the 49ers, put a beat down on the Cowboys or, the game was there. The difference in the game was 2 turnovers by Dak and giving up points before the half. If you just hold on to the football, if the Cowboys led at halftime 9-6, it's a totally different game.
And you know what I mean? I'm sorry to say this, man. Now I think I might have been on the what's it called, NFC Beast or something with Cool McCain and I forgot the other guy's name. Anyway,
yeah, with Wise.
Yeah.
Wise and Ben Sutter.
Yeah, Ben Sutter. Yeah. Yes, we just got to say what it is, man. Dak Prescott is Tony Romo with his decision making.
Oh, and no, he's worse than Tony Romo.
I think they're about the same. It's A and B, great value. Whole Foods, A, great value version. I think they're about the same. Anyway, let me say this, because it's no way the guy was running a comeback route or a hitch, and the corner ran the route for him and picked it off. He was reading his eyes. Tony Romo threw some duds out there too. People was taking to the house.
He threw both picks that he threw. I don't even know why he's throwing the ball or where he's throwing the ball. I mean, Michael Gallup is falling down on his comeback route. He's not even in the play. And like you said, the defender ran the route for him. Why you're even throwing that ball makes no sense. So that one didn't make any sense. The other one, he throws into double coverage for no reason. There's no reason to throw into double coverage over the middle of the field. And again, on 2nd and 2. That we're not talking about a 4th down play where somebody, or hey, if you turn the ball over, whatever. No, it was 2nd and 2. If the guy's not open, throw the ball away. We live to play another down.
And
I think
Dak Prescott
forces the ball into double coverage for no reason.
And CeeDee Lamb should be ashamed of himself. He let a linebacker cover you. You let a linebacker cover you and blanket you.
Yeah, and he was and it was just a mess. I don't know. I don't know what the structure was of the play calling because they didn't show anything else. I don't know what the play was behind it, but if everybody's covered, Dak, throw the ball away. You throw the ball away. You live to play another down. Like I said, he shouldn't have even been in that situation anyway, because you just ran the ball for a huge gain. Pollard had just gotten knocked out of the game. So Zeke is in the game. Right? Ezekiel Elliott falls, and you hand him the ball, he falls for 2 yards every time he gets the ball. So why you wouldn't run the ball, get a first down? Now you have 4 downs to play with a minute to go.
Mm-hmm.
You run the clock out. So every play is either going to go to the end zone, where if it gets picked off, all right, it gets picked off, but it's in the end zone or it's, deep in their territory. But no, not for the Dallas Cowboys, because they don't want to get first downs. The game is about getting first downs. It's about getting 10 yards, not about getting 50 yards. It's about 10 yards, move the chains, 10 yards, move the chains, get down into the red zone and score touchdowns. That's the game of football. It's the way football's always been. It's the way it always will be.
And I'm sorry to say this, man. Robert Quinn, you did a great job this year. Not Robert Quinn, Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn. You did a great job this year, but stop putting Mike at middle linebacker. Put his hand in the dirt, let him go at it. What was you thinking, man?
Well, the thinking is that the Cowboys already have 2 rush ends, so it's like, where are you gonna put Micah? I mean, that's the great thing about Micah Parsons is you can put him at every position on the field, and he can do it. So it's a luxury to have, where he's not just a guy, all right, put his hand in the dirt and put him on the left side and he rushes from there. No, you can rush him from the left side. You can rush him from the right side. You could rush him, put him over the center and rush him. So the problem is they use him to drop back for some reason. You have a guy who rushes the passer better than anybody, attacks the football better than anybody, and you're asking him to drop back into a zone? That doesn't make any – that just – it takes a bullet. Why would you take a bullet out of the gun? Like –
this is what I don't understand too, man. You know Bosa's coming with his hair on fire. Why not use a tight end to chip him? You know you got a young tackle right there. That's too much to ask for him to guard one of the greatest, you can say one of the greatest pass rushers people ever seen. Bosa. Yeah.
Why not?
Why not chip him?
Why not chip him? Why not run a draw right behind him? Why not run the football? I mean, that's what happened yesterday is the Cowboys just got into that. They got into that typical Kellen Moore mode of, we need to pass the ball. And I'm sitting there going, it's 6-6. Like, why are we running? Why are we just throwing the ball every play? Run the football, and then Tony Pollard goes down, and they're like, "Oh, we don't have anybody." You have Ezekiel Elliott, who's, I mean, Pollard. Yes, he's more elusive. He's more this. Not against that defense. Against that defense, you needed a bruiser like Ezekiel Elliott to just to wear them down. And then you hit him with Tony Pollard and hit him with the speed and use the outside leverage. But no, the Dallas Cowboys do everything ass backwards. So,
hey, Deeks, if you were the GM, if you could find some kind of way, would you go after that tight end coming out from Notre Dame?
I've already told you I would take I would take Michael Mayer. To me,
that's what y'all missing. That's what y'all missing. You just got a bunch of guys that's tight end. You need a guy.
You'd have to get up in. You'd have to get up into the top 5, at least top 5. I would take him. I'm looking at my board right now. I would take him in the top 5. Absolutely.
God damn.
That's how good Michael Mayer is a beast. And if you. I mean, just look at Kansas City's offense.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have a stud wide receiver? No, but they have this guy Travis Kelce who is a stud. You look at San Francisco's offense. Do they have a stud wide receiver? No, but they have George Kittle who is a beast.
Hey man, I'm telling you,
these tight ends run. They can do more things like. These guys are not just, all right, we got a tight end. He's just going to block for us. No, these tight ends can split out wide. They can run in the slot. It's a different ball game when you have a guy that's can't be defended by a corner because you can just throw it to him and he'll run him over, and he's too fast for a safety. A safety can't cover him. So he's run by him.
Bland was burning. Bland was getting burnt. Bad. Mm-hmm. Bad. He looked like he's 5'10" at best. Like, there's nothing you could do with that.
Again, anybody's going to look like that against George Kittle when he's not tall enough to defend George Kittle, and all you got to do is throw the ball up to him. That's what these tight ends are now. And
that catch was magical, man.
The one that hit George Kittle in the face, hit his hands, hit him in the face, and he still caught it, and then he still caught it and ran after. So, like I said, I'm not going to fault the defense. The defense, there's no fault to the defense. They give up 19 points.
Yeah.
So
that's a good game.
That's a good game. That's a good game for the Dallas Cowboys. They didn't allow a touchdown in the first half.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Deeks, I have a question though for you.
And they shouldn't have given up that last field goal because the Cowboys should have ran the clock out. They should have given up 6 points in the first quarter, in the first half. That's a great defensive effort. The problem is the offense didn't want to win the game.
But Deeks, I got a question for you, man. What do you do after next year with Trey Lance? That's the $1 million question. What do you do with him?
For the 49ers?
Yeah.
You got to roll with them. I mean, you got to ride Trey Lance out, but they're in the best situation they could be in. They can get the best out of Trey Lance, but you know what they could say? Hey, Trey, if you're not pulling it, we got Brock Purdy. We can ride with Brock Purdy. We know we can. He's winning playoff games. I mean, you traded all those assets to get Trey Lance, so you have to do something with him. You can't just cut him. You have to either have to play him, or you have to trade him. And
that's what I'm thinking they're gonna do. Especially if they get past the Eagles. You gotta go with the hot hand, man. If he got you that far, it's not no luck. You know what I mean?
You don't have to. Look what happened last time. Hey, Jimmy Garoppolo got them to the Super Bowl, and they went out and drafted Trey Lance. This is what happened. I'm sorry to say this. What happened? They got to the Super Bowl and they drafted Trey Lance.
Hey, I gotta say this. I'm drinking the Purdy Kool-Aid now. He's a real deal Holyfield. He's better than Jimmy G. I gotta just keep it a beat.
Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens in Philly. I mean, again, they put up 19 points. Like, he played well. He played good enough to not. I mean, he didn't turn the ball over. He did what quarterbacks are supposed to do. But it's not like he lit the world on fire on Sunday. So, but yeah, Brock Purdy. Can they win with Brock Purdy? Yes. Yeah. So if you're John Lynch in that situation, you have to say, look, we can win with this guy, and not to mention, hey, he's cheap. If somebody comes at you and I mean, you can put Trey Lance on the block. The question is, who would want him? Who would want to give up something? Who would want to give up something significant for him? I wouldn't.
Jets.
I would. Yeah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't give up. I wouldn't give up anything for him. I mean, we talked about this before, Rod. With what would you give up for Mac Jones? I mean, for Trey Lance, it would be even less. I mean,
maybe I'd give up like a third and a second. You don't think that'd be too high for him?
For Trey?
Yeah, for Trey.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't do that?
They came at me and said I would offer them the third round pick. I'd say we'll give you a third round pick.
Yeah.
And if they came back and said, "Oh, well, no, we want your second and third," I'd be like, "All right, well, hang up the phone and be like, all right, we're good." I mean, we're good. Like, we're not. I wouldn't trade for Trey Lance. I wouldn't make that trade for Trey Lance right now. There's that. that's just giving up too much acid. You're lucky to get a third and a fifth. Like that's what I'm saying. Like you can trade them, but you're gonna have to take pennies on the dollar for what you got. So right now if you're the 49ers, you got to just stick with them, and you basically go, hey, it's gonna be a training camp fight, and whoever the best quarterback is in training camp and preseason, that's who we're going to roll with, because we don't need to put Trey Lance out there. We can win with Brock Purdy. So it's a luxury of riches right now for the 49ers. But, we're talking a lot about the 49ers, but that other team in Philadelphia is really good.
Talk about them.
They showed on Saturday night that they're really good.
What do you think what makes them so good, though, man? What do you think makes them so good offensively? And I was watching the Snowman in the Morning Show, man. And I don't understand why people don't want to give Jalen Hurts credit. He took a hell of steps up forward, and he looks better as a quarterback than last year. We can say that.
Yeah.
He's a way better passer than he was last year. I think out of all the mobile quarterbacks, he's moving into the right direction. And I think he should be MVP. He should be MVP.
Absolutely. He should be the MVP. I mean, they were 13-1 with him, and 0-2 without him. Enough said. I mean, you can't really do it any other way. I mean, of course he's the MVP. Of course he's the MVP, and he's the straw that stirs the drink there. And a lot of people are caught up in this Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has been significantly diminished by what he did at Alabama, which is
talk about that, Deeks.
Crazy. Which is crazy because people said, "Oh, at Alabama, all he did was run," and because they got into a championship game and they made the change at halftime to go to Tua, and Tua leads them to a victory, and everybody said, "Oh, Jalen Hurts can't pass. Jalen Hurts is just a runner." Well, guess what? Jalen Hurts won 14 games.
Mm-hmm.
He led them to a national championship game, in which they lost. Then he leads them to a national championship game again the next season and gets replaced by Tua.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they win the game. And then his third season at Alabama, he leads, Tua leads them all the way until the SEC championship, which nobody talks about. The SEC championship game where Tua couldn't pass the ball on that Georgia defense. And then all of a sudden Tua gets hurt, and who comes in? Jalen Hurts. And what happens? Boom, 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 passing the ball. Alabama leads them down the field. They score a touchdown, win the game.
But we can see the progression is throwing motion from, like you said, Alabama, and when he got to Oklahoma.
Then he goes to Oklahoma, and Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley damn near wins damn near, was definitely a Heisman Trophy type player. He had an amazing season with Oklahoma, and people still said, he's not a passer. But the guy threw for like 4,000 yards. What are you talking about?
And you see that ass whooping he took from Tampa Bay. That should motivate him to, work on his craft more. And the proof is in the pudding. Look at this year. Like you said, he won 14 games. That doesn't happen by accident.
Yeah. And he's a guy that, you know what? If enabling him to throw the ball, guess what he does? He uses his legs to make you can't come with just a straight pass rush on him. Because he'll step up out of it. As if he steps up out of it, he's gone. and you're not catching them. So you got to stay back, and that opens the field up for wide receivers, which with Devontae, they have 3 stud wide receivers. And a tight end that's a beast.
And a Hummer. You got a Hummer and 2 Lamborghinis.
And then you've got their 3-headed monster at running back. So they're loaded with weapons. That's what makes them an interesting team, is that you don't know what they're going to do, because they can run the ball. Miles Sanders can run the ball. Boston Scott can run the ball. Gainwell can run the ball. And they can all catch the ball. So they can all do everything out of the backfield. And you got the quarterback who can run. Then you add in Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. And it's a mixed mismatch of, all right, where can we exploit these teams? Where can we exploit the team that we're playing?
And you know what I mean? The coach, the Philly coach, he represents Philly so much because he's talking shit. He's talking shit. You can hear the mics. You know what I'm saying? I know what I'm doing. I know what the fuck I'm doing right here. I love it because he embodies the city of Philly. That coach, the head coach.
Yeah. So and again, and that's why he should be. That's why he should be He should be the coach of the year. Like, it's not even a question. I mean, anybody who thought Philly would be the best team in the NFC at the beginning of the year, you would have called them crazy.
Mm-hmm. But I gotta get a a salute to what you call it, Brian Dabadoo. What he did this year with the Giants.
They will
deserve some praise.
Definitely deserves praise, but again, you finished third in your division. I got to go with the guy who finished first in the conference.
You're definitely right.
And not to mention, Sirianni put a whooping on
2 times.
Put a whooping on him not once, not twice,
3.
but thrice. 3 times. And they showed a stat. It was like they showed a stat in the game. The Eagles outscored the Giants 64-7 in the first half. In the first half in 3 games.
Damn.
That's crazy. That tells you right there. That tells you coaching is that tells you they're coming out of the gate, that they're ready to go. And so that's why that's another reason you would put it over him. But yeah, there's no question about it. The Giants overachieved by a lot, but nobody would have thought. Nobody thought the Eagles would be the best team in football right now.
Nah, I couldn't call it, man. I'm living with an Eagle fan, so it gets annoying a little bit, Deets. I got a reminder. You only got 1 championship in 89 years. I gotta throw that jab in, Deets. I make sure it's stiff like Lennox.
Yeah, but I'm sure she throws it back. I'm sure she throws it back because I'm sure she just goes, "Oh yeah, we got 1. Who was that against?" And then you're like, "Oh yeah,
yeah."
You're like, "Damn it."
I throw it in there though. You know what I mean? But she does go underneath me like Mike Tyson and hit me with the uppercut. But man, it's must see TV, man. And at 12 o'clock, guys, we're having the Kentucky guy on. We're gonna talk about some Royal Rumble stuff and some other stuff. Go ahead.
When did they start doing the championship games at 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock?
Yeah, that's weird to me.
It's so stupid. Like, I'm so out of the 6. Like, I left the game yesterday. Like, I was like, by 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, I'm like, all right, I've seen enough. Like, I've been watching football all day, been hanging out at the bar. Like, the one and when did 1 and 4 like get bad? Like, I love the 1 and 4 o'clock games. And then after you're able to celebrate and talk about the games, like, nobody wants to talk after the game. Like after the 6 o'clock game, when it ends at like 9:30 out here, everybody's like, man, we're done. I'm going home.
Yeah, I turned it off, man. Deeks. I saw what it was. I said, man, I'm gonna watch some of this Golden States in that game because that shit was a good game. That was a real good game, man. I don't know if you checked it or
that's we were watching a little bit of it we were watching it at the bar as I was leaving. We were watching the end of it. So
that was a really great game.
But like I said, like after the football game, everybody like the entire bar just cleared out. Like once everybody knew, all right, this game is over, everybody left. Like the 4 o'clock when it's 4 o'clock games and the game ends at like 6:30, 7 o'clock, people usually hang out and we're able to talk like, oh, that was a great game, or how about this play, and we're able to like talk about stuff and hang out for a couple hours. Nobody does that at 9 o'clock. Everybody at 9 o'clock at night is like, I want to get home. Or I want to go do something else. Or, I know when I'm home, I go back and I turn on Last of Us and start watching some TV. So it's like, I don't understand changing it to 3 and 6 o'clock. It doesn't make any sense.
Like I don't understand it either, Deeks, but.
And I don't remember them. I don't ever remember them doing it. I don't ever remember them doing it that way. So we got Kentucky guy coming on at 12, right?
Yeah, at 12 o'clock. We're gonna talk about some Royal Rumble. My top 5 rivalries, and I want to know some of yours.
Rivalries. There's way too many.
At 12 o'clock,
there's so many really good ones, but we'll dive into that.
But Deets, what do you have? What's the off season wise? What are you looking forward to in the NFL?
Everybody that's tuned into Fifth Down Sports Show for the last 6 years knows the game doesn't end. The game doesn't end with the playoffs. The game just begins after the Super Bowl as we gear up for my favorite time of year, draft. I'm a draft junkie. It's why I love college football. It's the merge of both college and NFL. You get to do both. So we're gonna break down the draft the only way we know how to do it, which is we'll give you our top guys. We'll tell you why we think guys should draft, where they should draft, and I don't get into this. I don't get into the whole. All right, well, this team is going to draft here, or my insiders tell me this. No, I tell you, if I'm the GM, here's who I'm drafting. Here's why I'm drafting this guy, and here's why I would draft this position over that position for certain teams. Like I'm working on the Bears right now because they're the top pick. I mean, I'm looking at offensive linemen, and I'm sitting there saying, why would I take an offensive tackle when you can take a center? The center for Michigan is going to be a stud for years on end. Mm-hmm. Draft him. Draft the best offensive lineman you can get because you need to draft all 5 of them. It's not like the Bears are sitting there going, all right, we have a guard that we can play. No, you don't have anybody. So get the best guy, get him, and then build around him because it's going to take multiple guys to fill that line out.
But if you don't do that, Will Anderson is a solid. You need a good linebacker.
I love Will Anderson. I love the only thing you're going to get from Will Anderson is and this is I would love to be at the combine one of these days but at the combine as long as he passes the medical test at the combine, and that's really all he has to do. If I were him, I wouldn't even step on the field. I would say, all right, let my tape show what I got. I'm not doing any of the drills. I'm going to do the medical test. I'm in, I'm out, boom, done.
But
if you're sitting there and saying, oh, I have to see this, what do you have to see from Will Anderson? Guy has done everything that you ask him to do on a football field.
But Deets, for your Cowboys, would you draft another corner?
Yeah, I would. I have to look at where the Cowboys are at that point. But to me, the Cowboys need to get the best secondary player they can get, whether that's a corner or a safety. I mean, I've been saying this for years. They need somebody in the back end.
Mm-hmm.
They have neglected the safety position for years. And
I don't even know when the last Orlando Scandrick.
And Scandrick wasn't even a safety when they like they didn't even play him at safety. Like they need a guy who can play safety, who can battle with guys like George Kittle, because Bland, all right, Bland's not going to be able to cover a guy like George Kittle.
Nah.
And you're going to have to go against Dallas Goedert for the rest of the career of his career.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those are the kinds of guys that you look at what Washington has. Washington's loaded with wide receivers right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you need as many cover guys as you can get, and you don't need. You know, I see all this. Oh, we need guys in the middle, and we need defensive linemen. No, you got Micah Parsons. Like Micah Parsons, let him cook. But guess what? If you don't cover the back end, Micah Parsons can't do his thing.
And it's another question for you, man. If Quinn leaves, who's somebody you would like to see them, hire for DC?
The first guy that always comes to mind is Ken Norton Jr.
Mm-hmm. Is he at UCLA? I think he's at UCLA.
He's at I think he's at UCLA.
That's a linebacker.
Yeah, one of those places. But hey, he always comes to mind because he and people can say what they want about bringing a college guy in, but no, he was with Seattle forever.
Mm-hmm.
And where did Dan Quinn? Who did Dan Quinn mold into that? Oh yeah, he worked under Dan Quinn. So it's not. You're not changing scheme. You're not changing much. All you're doing is bringing in a legacy guy who I think he's a top coordinator. I would look to bring him in. But it all starts. You really have to ask who the head coach is, because. I guarantee you, if Sean Payton picks up the phone and says, Jerry, I'm in, Mike McCarthy's going to get kicked out.
This is my bigger question, though, man. About these big contracts for these head coaches, man. You see Cliff Kingsbury getting these big paydays, and you know what I mean? Matt Rule. Do you think they need to work this thing out about these big contracts these owners got to pay to these head coaches?
No.
You think this should stay how it is? Just keep on firing.
These owners and these general managers need to figure out what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Because you asked. I mean, Cliff Kingsbury, yes. Cliff Kingsbury had a bad season this year.
Mm-hmm.
But he took a bad team to the playoffs just a year ago. They were in the playoffs for the first time in however long we were talking about the Arizona Cardinals.
All right, these we got to cut it short. We got a Kentucky guy here now.
Awesome.
Let's
hey, there he is.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good, man. I'm glad you could make it.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. Anytime.
Yes, get into these rivalries, man. The top 5 rivalries. Let me give you my list. I got my list. Let me show you my list. What I had Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. That's my number 5. I had Stone Cold Steve Austin against The Rock at 4. Shawn Michaels versus the Hitman. And number 2, I had Dusty Rhodes versus Ric Flair. And number 1, Steve Austin versus Mr. McMahon. Who are y'all top 5? It doesn't matter whoever want to go first.
I'll concede time to our guest here. What do you got, Kentucky guy?
Sure. So we're doing top 5, right?
Top 5.
So top 5, let's see. Number 5 would have to be Big John Studd versus Andre the Giant. That's with Bobby Heenan traveling back and forth as manager for both during that time. Number 4 would have to be Triple H versus Seth Rollins when Seth Rollins came back from injury. That was a great one. Number 3 would have to be Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock. Absolutely. That's going to go down in history, especially over the Intercontinental title. Man, that was great during the Attitude Era. Number 2 would have to be probably Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels, the Montreal Screwjob. That definitely go down. That's always going to be in somebody's top 5 or 6. So, and then my top 1 is actually Ric Flair versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Oh man,
they had some of the greatest.
You went back.
They had some of the greatest matches I ever seen as a wrestling fan. So yeah. So there's my top 5.
All right. I've got 5, but I'm just gonna give you 5 of them because you guys have already talked about a lot of the ones that are on my list. But I've got Undertaker versus Kane. That was a great one. It was a great. To me, what makes the rivalry great is not just the matches are great, but the setups are great. And the setup to Undertaker Kane was awesome. So I dug that. The other one, I know you put Hogan on there with the Giant, but I gotta go to Hogan and Macho Man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yep,
because again, not just the setup to that match, but the aftermath of that changed WCW forever. The creation of the NWO doesn't happen without Macho Man versus Hogan, and so that to me, it really drove that home as far as rivalries. But you guys already talked about Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. There's a reason why they headlined WrestleMania for like 3 years in a row. I mean, it was nothing but the Heartbreak Kid and Bret the Hitman Hart. And like you said, the Montreal Screwjob was just one of the most amazing events to ever happen in wrestling. So I got them on my list. And more factions. I loved I love Lex Luger. Lex Luger versus basically anybody in the in WCW. His rivalries were amazing. But you gotta go the NWO versus Sting. I mean, the entire NWO versus Sting. Every time Sting would come out, it was must see TV, and they would end the show. Sting is out, and we gotta go. And Sting would clear house, and the whole crowd would just go nuts. So that's my list.
Hey, you know what surprised me about your list? When you said Macho Man and Hulk Hogan, I thought you were going to go back to the WWF days when they split, when they used to be Superpowers, a tag team, and they split over Miss Elizabeth. That was a great rivalry too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it spanned a long time, but what put it over the edge was I almost called it SummerSlam, but was the summer match when Bash at the Beach Bash at the Beach '94 when Hogan leg dropped Macho and the beer cans started flowing. It's one of the greatest moments in wrestling.
Historic. Yep, it'll go down in history.
Well, Kentucky guy, let's go to Royal Rumble. Give us some news, man.
Yeah, okay. So the Royal Rumble, well, I guess the biggest news on everybody's mind right now is it looks like The Rock will not be attending.
What?
There's been rumors going around for like a year that The Rock was going to be a part of the Royal Rumble, win it, and actually go on to WrestleMania to face Roman Reigns. Well, news broke this weekend, and you guys are hearing it first because it's going to be on my show tonight. Mm-hmm. News broke this weekend that the WWE actually has known for a while that The Rock cannot participate in WrestleMania this year. So he will not be at the Royal Rumble. Also, big news that I'll go ahead and break right now as well. On tonight's Raw, they were supposed to have a commitment ceremony for Roman Reigns as a tribal chief. That has been taken out and nixed. Not happening. And the reason why is, I guess, mainly because The Rock can't be there. I guess The Rock was supposed to interrupt. And the second reason is Rikishi was supposed to come and he was sick. So now they're changed it to a court trial. Get this, for Sami Zayn. So Sami Zayn tonight on Raw, instead of the Raw 30th anniversary being about a commitment ceremony to the tribal chief, they're putting Sami Zayn on trial. I don't know what that's all about, but
it's all about forcing him out of the bloodline.
Yeah, but that's the main thing going on wrestling right now. Sami Zayn for 2022 should go down. I'm not going to say the best wrestler, but he was the best entertainer on that show all year last year because of this storyline.
Yeah, but because it's because of what's going on at the Rumble. I mean, you've got Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. I can tell you right now that match is going to be interrupted by Sami Zayn. In somehow it's going to cause a disqualification or something to allow Reigns to keep the title. And it's probably going to be something like where, I mean, we can go back and they do this all the time where Sami Zayn jumps in. He's supposed to hit Roman Reigns, but misses and does something. So he's going to do something to screw up Kevin Owens, but they're going to come together. And I've been saying it for a while now. It's going to be Owens and Zayn versus the Usos at WrestleMania for the tag.
I definitely think that's the end game, but also this storyline was only supposed to last 2 weeks. It's lasted like 6 months, so they know they've got a good thing here. So I don't know if it'll end at the Royal Rumble or not. I do think that it's kind of interesting that they're splitting the tag team titles up now. Have you noticed that? They have 2 separate tournaments, one for the Raw title and one for the SmackDown. So it looks like the Usos are going to lose at least one of them. So everything's kind of changing up. I just wonder if they're going to split the Raw World title and the Universal because you need a champion on each show. And the one guy traveling back and forth, it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't work. So they need to split those titles as well. And I kind of see that happening. As far as the Royal Rumble match, I don't think Kevin Owens is going to walk away with a belt. However, I look for Solo to get involved and cost them the match, actually. Because there's been something going on there. Solo's been he's starting, if you haven't noticed, and Jey Uso's noticing it as well, he's starting to become Roman's right-hand man. Like he's always there now, even when the Usos aren't. So I look for that to happen and for there to be some contention, some issues between the bloodline because of that.
Yeah, I could see that. That's the thing I don't like. That's the thing I don't like about the Royal Rumble, the pay-per-view. The side matches don't live. The draw is the Rumble, But when you put a guy like Roman Reigns in, when you put Roman Reigns and Roman Reigns is going to put the title on the line, the title's not changing hands at the Royal Rumble. Like you're not going to change titles that night and then have somebody win the Rumble and go, well, I'm going to challenge the guy who just won. Like that. No, it doesn't work that way. You know that the guy winning the Rumble is going to go to WrestleMania and challenge for the title. So there's no reason to have a title fight at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. All the other matches should just be regular, like random rivalry matches that you've been building up during the course of the thing. And the one I don't understand is we're gonna find out what is a pitch black match. What is it? What does that even mean? Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight. I mean, come on.
I don't know, but I can't wait. I cannot wait.
It's been too long since Bray Wyatt's been in a pay-per-view style match. So,
well, also, is he going to be Bray Wyatt? Is he going to be the Fiend? Is it going to be Uncle Howdy? Who's showing up? I mean, I'm all in on this storyline with Bray Wyatt right now. This is they've got me hook, line, and sinker, man. I've always been a Bray Wyatt fan, and this comeback, the way they brought him back, I think they've done it perfectly. So I think this match is going to be great. I think I'm a fan of LA Knight as well, but I wouldn't want to be in his shoes for it, man.
No, it's just a weird choice to have LA Knight as that guy. Like I feel bad for him too. It's like he drew the short stick and they were like, yeah, you're the one that gets it. You're the one that gets his beat down.
My theory on LA Knight is the reason why he actually was brought into that, because if you remember when they first brought him up from NXT, they brought him up as this maximum male model manager or whatever. It was kind of a joke gimmick, right? And that was Vince McMahon's doing before he came back. And anyway, so nobody in the WWE really knew who LA Knight was because not everybody watches NXT. And he's a great guy on promos and things like that. So even when he loses at the Royal Rumble, it's still not going to hurt him. I think it actually helped him because people got to know him. He got to do some promos. He's a talker, man. He's a great wrestler too. So,
hey, Kentucky guy, I have a question though. What's going on with Tamina Snuka? What's going on with her?
Yeah. One other thing I want to say, and then I'll get into that. So on Royal Rumble, it is possible for for Kevin Owens to win the title. It was done in 2004. Chris Benoit, he won it at the Royal Rumble, and also Rey Mysterio in 2006 won the world title at the Royal Rumble. So it is possible. It's been done. The reason why I said I don't see it happening is because it's for both belts. They haven't split the belts yet. So I don't think until they do that, when they start talking about him just defending the Universal title, I think then we'll say, okay, he's getting ready to lose the title. So that's my opinion on that.
Yeah, but and you're right, but it's never been a run like this. Like it wasn't a run. When those belts changed titles, it wasn't a run like Roman Reigns. You're not going to drop the titles from Roman Reigns at the Rumble. You're going to wait till WrestleMania for that. Not right. I mean, this has been a historic run by Roman Reigns. And if you drop them to Kevin Owens, I mean, and let's not get around this. If they were going to drop them to Kevin Owens, they would have done it the last time these two were going at it because they went at it three pay-per-views in a row and had great matches. That was when Kevin Owens should have got the title.
Mm-hmm. I agree. That's the same thing I said when Gunther and Sheamus had their feud. I was like, they've already fought several times. They're not going to change it now. So Tamina Snuka, she is still signed with the WWE. Mm-hmm. From my understanding, is she's not injured. However, we should see her in the female Royal Rumble this Saturday. They're not going to do anything with her though. I don't think they know what to do with her. She's a decent wrestler, I guess. She's not her dad. She's a decent wrestler, and now they've done away with the 24/7 title.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do with her? So she doesn't have a tag team partner either. Same thing with Natalya. She's not injured either. I just don't think they have anything planned for them right now. You just brought Charlotte back. Becky Lynch is back now.
Mm-hmm.
And you have all these new superstars, female superstars coming up from the NXT. It might be time for Triple H to take a step back and maybe cut the fat a little bit, and redo some stuff.
Who would you cut?
Who would the female division or male?
Female division.
Female. Who would I would I'd get a lot of some of the dead weight. Like I would get rid of Nikki Cross unless my theory is true, and I have a theory about her. But if not, I would cut her. There's a couple of them that could go. Yi Kim. I don't even know why they brought her back. They brought her back to lose. They teamed her up with AJ Styles and his crew, but she really hasn't done anything at all. And then we've got the lady that just came from Impact, Emma, the chick that wears the sunglasses, has lost every single match since you brought her back. Why bring her back to lose? Cut it. You've got plenty of
because Emma lost every single match before she went to Impact.
Right, and she actually had a winning streak at on Impact. She was actually known as kind of a decent wrestler on there, and I think it's a shame. I think personally, if they brought her back and they had this plan, they should have took her to NXT. So,
what about Sasha? Sasha Banks, you release her?
She's already. What do you mean? She's with New Japan Wrestling.
Oh, she in Japan Wrestling.
Oh yeah.
What about Ronda? Would you let her go, Ronda? Ronda's terrible to me.
I don't. I love Ronda Rousey as a heel.
Oh my God, her on the mic though is terrible.
Yeah, but as a heel, well, that's why they teamed her up with Shayna Baszler, right? Shayna Baszler's a lot better on the mic. But yeah, you're right. She needs like a Paul Heyman. She needs a manager to talk for her.
She definitely does.
But in the ring, though, man, if she's a heel, now when they try to use her as a baby face, she sucks. But as a heel, man, she's dangerous. Yeah, yeah, she can be dangerous, breaking arms and crap. But I'm glad to see Charlotte Flair's back. I think that's long overdue. I was kind of surprised how they did the title change, though. Did you guys catch that?
No, I didn't catch it.
Yeah, it was on SmackDown. Ronda Rousey just had a match. Charlotte comes out, challenges Ronda to a match, and beats her within less than 4 minutes and takes her title. And we haven't seen Ronda Rousey back. Don't know where she's at.
Damn.
Yeah. So she won the Royal Rumble last year. So I can't really see them letting that happen again this year. It's possible. But I don't know. She hasn't showed up. She hasn't been back on. And she was supposed to be on tonight's 30th anniversary of Raw. And I read a couple hours ago that they've nixed that. She's not going to be on there now. So I don't know what's up.
And Kentucky guy, what's going on with them? Vince McMahon and the McMahon selling the WWE. Heard any news about it? I heard Disney. Somebody said Disney's supposed to be buying it or something like that.
Well, that is a true rumor. Actually, Stephanie McMahon, she did resign a week before last as the CEO or co-CEO of WWE. Vince McMahon is back. He's not a head of creative, but he is. He owns controlling shares in the stock, and he has promoted himself to chairman of the board. And it went through. There is trouble there. He does want to sell the company. That's the entire reason he's supposed to be back, right? However, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, they do not want to sell the company. So there is, and Tony or the CEO, Nick Khan, does not want to sell the company, right? However, Vince McMahon, he's a majority shareholder, so what he says goes. Here's the thing. It's not just Disney. There are 3 major competitors for the company right now.
I heard the number is crazy.
It's in the billions. Yeah. The Saudi Arabia finance company, they're one of the top ones in the race. Actually, the owner of AEW, Tony Khan, and they also own the Jaguars, the Florida Jaguars. They're second. And they're looking to combine AEW and WWE if they were to buy it. And those talks are happening. Like a lot of people are trying to push it off like, oh, there's no chance. No, that's absolutely Dave Meltzer. I've seen a report from him. That is happening. Doesn't mean they're going to buy it, but the talks are happening. Comcast is the other company. And then we do have Disney in there. But I think Disney is the longest shot.
Don't sell Disney is where franchises go to die.
Well, Disney is they've got such a bad rap right now.
Man, look at this.
They've got such a bad PR.
Yeah, sounds like a few people I know.
When you take Star Wars and make it unprofitable, that you lost all credibility.
Can I say, hey Deeds, can I say it the way you really want to say it?
Sure.
When you take Star Wars and fuck it up.
Yeah. No, but seriously, you took Star Wars and made it unprofitable.
You took Star Wars.
What?
Wait.
They're losing money.
You took Star Wars, which was the Cowboys of the 90s for many years, and the 49ers of the 80s for many years, and you turned it into the Cleveland Browns.
You're losing.
Solo
lost money. Rise of Skywalker lost money.
Yeah.
You can't even make a Star Wars movie now.
Listen.
It's a TV series. You buried it. Disney is where franchises go to die.
Just like Cleveland is where players go to die.
It's where quarterbacks go to die, definitely.
And I mean that in all sports. But I will add this, since we're talking about Star Wars. Since 1983, they've come out with a lot of Star Wars video games, and they tried to put them in an arcade. The only one I played was the one in 83. And I would never, ever look. They even came out with the damn pod racers. And
Pod Racers was good. That was good. I enjoyed that.
I played that a grand total of 3 times.
I played that on the Dreamcast. I think it was the Dreamcast.
I got 1 win in 3 plays. Here's why. Here's why I don't play it. Here's why I don't play it anymore. And it has to deal with an old roommate of mine. And y'all heard me talk about the roommate I lived with in Glenview, Illinois. He ruined it for me because I went to GameWorks in Schaumburg, Illinois to get away from his ass. I didn't tell him where I was going. I gave no clue. And Chris is smiling because he knows where this one's going. I gave him no indication of where I was. In fact, I flat out lied to him and told him I was going to the South Side to cover a game, which I wasn't. I even put my equipment in the back seat because I had a Toyota Corolla at the time and the damn trunk didn't work. Yeah, tell me how my 6'5" ass squeezed into a Toyota Corolla.
You probably look like Bubba Smith on Police Academy.
Worse. Listen, I make fun of small cars because I've squeezed into half of them. I gave no indication of where I was. I flat out lied to him, told him I was going to the South Side to cover a game. You know, this sumbitch found me while I was playing Pod Racer. I nearly punched him in the mouth, but I didn't feel like going to jail because I was one of the 4 black people in the establishment, and I think you all can figure out the rest.
But Brian,
look at the look on Kai's face. Look at the look, Kai. You know I'm telling the truth.
I'm not saying a word, man.
You know that look and that smile said it. You know I'm speaking the truth. In small, and I live in a small town now here in Southern Indiana. I don't need to tell you the rest of the story.
But no, man. What is your top 5 rivalries, man, in pro wrestling?
Too freaking many. There's a 3-word answer. Too freaking many.
All right, give me your number 1 then.
Nope. Can't do it.
Give me all right, Kentucky guy. What is your favorite moment at Royal Rumble in history?
I'll answer that for him. Too damn many.
Probably my favorite would be when Shawn Michaels won the championship.
If I got to pick a favorite Royal Rumble moment, it's when Flair won it in '92.
Yeah, that's right.
That would be my favorite. And I believe Let me see if my history serves me correctly. Y'all can correct me. I believe that took place in Sacramento, California, at Arco Arena.
It did, and he actually won the title. The title was on the line.
Yeah, the title was up for grabs after the fiasco that happened at what the hell was that? Survivor Series in '91, and then 6 days later at this Tuesday in Texas, which was in San Antonio. But yeah, that would be my Royal Rumble moment.
Mine was when Brock Lesnar just cleared house and took on everyone. He basically took out the entire Rumble. I think he took out like 22 people. It was nuts.
Yeah. Was that in Houston?
I think so. Was
that 2020 in Houston? Was that 2020 in Houston?
I think so.
Because I swore they had that at Reliance Stadium. They said it was the Toyota Center, but I swore the crowd was bigger than that, especially with the way they set it up. I swore they had it at Reliance Stadium, and I know it's the wrong name, but y'all know what I mean.
Hey, Dees, your football coach, Big Show said he's one of the strongest guys he ever worked with, John Cena. Big Show said he's one of the strongest guys he ever worked with.
WrestleMania 25.
John Cena's always been a monster.
Like I said, WrestleMania 25. Hey, what's your favorite, Rod?
What's my favorite? There's too many. I can't keep counting.
I rest my damn case.
It's like trying to eat one potato chip. It's
I rest my damn case. It's like me trying to hold off from eating a whole bunch of my wife's cookies that she bakes.
Oh, no
matter what flavor it is, no matter what kind she bakes, no matter how, and I know I'm on a restriction, and she keeps me on my restriction. She keeps me, abreast of everything that's going on. That's why I call her Dr. K. Mm-hmm. But there are a few times where she would, let me sneak in. And what she would do is like I'll be here in my office and she'll bring the bowl to me,
mm-hmm.
and she'll sit the remnants down and walk away.
Hey, I've got a quick question.
I'm like a 5-year-old kid, but I must be careful though, especially lately. Yes.
On the Brock Lesnar, you're talking about when he won the Royal Rumble. That was last year, right? 2022.
Was it?
No, I was talking about the first time.
Oh, 2003. I got you.
Okay. I was
talking about the first time he won it, when everybody came out of it. Everyone that he came out, he just started throwing them. There were like 3 guys trying to get him over, and he just grabbed them all, and it was nuts.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me step out. I got the Sports Sensates at 105.
Awesome.
This show will be replayed on the SDM Sports Radio Network. Rod, send me the sound and out.
Hey, Snowman, let me just say this before you go.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations on yesterday.
Hey, same to your team. Hell of a slobber knocker game. Cowboys and 49ers is always a slobber knocker game. Let me get out. I will see y'all later.
See you.
All right.
Out.
Kentucky guy, what is going on with Rod's girl, Brianna, or who's?
Are you talking about the ponytail?
Yeah, what are they doing with Bianca Belair?
Yeah, Bianca Belair.
Well, she's the Raw Women's Champion. Still, she started a feud with Alexa Bliss, who actually is torn with. She's a part of the Bray Wyatt storyline. Uncle Howdy. It looks like Uncle Howdy is trying to recruit her. And I think there's a 2-part story there, because if you remember, The Fiend, she cost The Fiend the match at the last WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
So with The Fiend, he wouldn't want to recruit her. He'd want revenge, right? But Uncle Howdy, who seems to be like the guy in control of everything, which, by the way, it is Bo Dallas. That's been confirmed, is Uncle Howdy, which is Bray Wyatt's real brother. So Alexa Bliss is fighting Bianca Belair for the title at the Royal Rumble Saturday. I personally think that Bianca Belair has been champion for way too long, and I kind of look for her to lose the title. We'll see. But Alexa Bliss did almost injure her. I don't know if you guys caught that or not. A couple weeks ago, she snapped. And that's when we started seeing. Do you guys remember when she was with the Fiend and he could possess her every now and again and change her mental state?
Yeah.
They're playing that back into it because Uncle Howdy flashed on the screen and then she just flipped out, attacked the referee, got disqualified, and destroyed Bianca Belair. So, and I'm there for it, man. I'm a Alexa Bliss fan, so yeah. So that's what's going on with her. She's got a heck of a push this year. Bianca Belair has. I think it's over though. I think everybody's getting a little bit sick of it.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just sick. I'm just tired of Bianca Belair. Like someone else needs to get the title.
It's always better,
I'm tired of this ponytail shit. This finish move. I'm tired, dude. I'm tired. I'm sorry, Kentucky guy.
No, you're fine, man. And why everybody's getting tired of it is because Raw's a lot better when you have a heel champion and the babyface chasing them when it comes to the female championship. And that's why everybody's getting sick of it, because Bianca Belair has always been played off as a babyface. But on NXT, she was a hell of a heel. So I don't know why they switched it, but they have. And that's why everybody's just kind of wore out on it. Getting in there, slapping her butt, whatever. That's not wrestling.
And Kentucky guy, why is AEW's Divas better than WWE's? I just feel like they have more competitive, women matches.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They promote them better.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest about it. If a match comes on the WWE, a women's match, unless it's like Bayley for the title or something like that, that's my opportunity to get up and go get a drink or go to the restroom or something. I don't care, even on pay-per-views, And then AEW, you have so many interesting storylines that they've created, like with Sarah and Tony Storm turning heel, and so when they're in the ring, it's kind of like must-see TV.
Because I definitely love Brittany. I love Britt Baker.
Oh yeah, she's my favorite, Dr. Britt Baker. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and not just because she's hot either. I mean, she's a good wrestler.
Yeah.
But she's hot. She's hot, though. I mean, excuse me, Adam Cole. Don't come after me. But yeah,
And even Cody's old lady. She's pretty a decent wrestler.
Brandy.
Yeah, Brandy. She's pretty decent.
Yeah, she's on Impact now.
Oh, she's on Impact now.
Yeah. I look for her to jump over to WWE soon.
Yeah.
Also, the big rumor that broke last weekend, I don't know if you guys have heard this or not, but Dustin Rhodes, his contract is over with in July, and the rumors are he may be heading back for retirement with his brother and finish out his career in the WWE. That would be pretty cool, I think.
Now, would he come back as Dustin, or is he going to come back as Goldust?
I think they're done with that Goldust and Stardust stuff, man. I know that was in Cody's contract. Don't even mention Stardust. So
that's why I said, because I really think it does. I think he's gonna come out because they're gonna. I've already said this. WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes is gonna take the belt, and they're gonna do something on Raw the next day of big celebration of Dusty Rhodes, bring everybody out and do all of that.
So you think Cody Rhodes? That's your pick to win the Rumble this year?
I'm taking Cody Rhodes to win the Rumble, and I'm taking Cody Rhodes to take the belts at WrestleMania.
Wow. So, okay. Wow.
I think it opens the door to so many more storylines. I mean, I think that's why else would they bring Cody Rhodes back if they weren't going to put the titles on him?
Oh, he's going to be champion. He's definitely. Remember, this is his first match back since an injury, so that's what
I think they wanted to put the belts on him before when he was in this push, and then that injury just screwed everything up. And I think that's why Roman's had it for so long. Is they said, all right, we're just gonna wait till Cody's better.
Now, the original plan was for Roman to face The Rock at WrestleMania up until a month ago. I mean, that's been the plan. But the Rock can't make it now. So
he's too busy right now with the XFL and stuff he got going on, man.
Well, actually, what he said was he doesn't feel he can get into ring shape. This was out of his mouth. Ring shape before WrestleMania. Now, I think he looks bigger than what he looked when he wrestled. That's why all these rumors are floating around about him taking steroids.
I don't believe it. I don't believe he's taking no steroids, man.
I
think testosterone, but not no steroids.
I think he's been
TRT.
He's been too far along in this business as a weightlifter and wrestling to start now. So it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, and look at his dad. His dad was huge too. So it's a family thing too. When you have good genetics and you work on it like he does,
he's portions this small, Kentucky guy. And he's in the gym every day.
Yeah. And imagine his workload with all the movies and special appearances and things. So if you're that dedicated, more power to you, man. Get as buff as you want. Joe Rogan started that crap, and I used to be a big Joe Rogan fan, but
me too.
I don't understand his deal there. So.
And that's the let me leave that alone. But but Kevin Nash, you know what I mean? He said, man, he said The Rock is just a different animal with them weights. He's just a different animal with them weights. And he takes really good care of his body.
Yeah, he spends what was it, $1.5 million a year on his body. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. The only other person I know does that is LeBron James. Yeah, he spends $1 million a year on his. $1 million just on your body. You imagine how much money you got to be making.
Why are we talking about The Rock? What's going on with his daughter? I did see that she's trying to get be a diva or something. What's going on with that?
Oh, she's wrestling on NXT. Mm-hmm. She's a part of a faction. I don't quite understand it, her being a part of this faction, because they're kind of a dark faction. Mm-hmm. And like the supernatural stuff and all that. Mm-hmm. And boy, oh boy, that was the first time I seen her in the ring. And man, she looks like The Rock in the face. Mm-hmm. Like it's scary. Could you imagine dating her? Be like kissing a guy, you know what I'm saying?
Have you seen The Rock's ex-wife?
I have not.
Good Lord. She was like I think she was a bodybuilder back in her day. She's cut up.
Is this the girl's mother?
Yeah.
Yeah, then that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, she looks like she does 50-pound dumbbells for a workout. That's the start there. Pre-workout.
His daughter probably does 50-pound dumbbells on her with her nose, man, because it's huge now. I shouldn't say that. Sorry.
Oh man. But man, Kentucky guy, what you got going on this week, man? I appreciate.
That's no problem, man. So we got still doing the Against the Mat Wrestling podcast with Donnie Cage. We've got our prediction show coming out on Friday for the Royal Rumble. We always go through every single match and who we predict is going to be the winner. Tonight, basically, there's so much news going on right now in the wrestling world that we're probably going to be slowly dedicated to that. I have like 15 different headlines that people have flooded me with from AEW to WWE that we've got to talk about. I've got some sources. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I've got some sources that actually work within the AEW. Mm-hmm. So I get some pretty good feedback sometimes. Like the CM Punk thing, still not over with. I got to break that again tonight. We thought that his contract was bought out. It's not been bought out at all. He's still with the company, and Tony Khan is putting it off as long as he can before he does that. They did try to buy his contract, but he has so much money, it was ridiculous for it. So I think they're trying to wait. He is injured, though. So that's the excuse they're still going with. He's still injured.
So where people can hear your podcast, get the podcast information for both.
Yeah, man. So we're on 73 different platforms now, all audio. You can listen to us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music. It is Against the Mat Wrestling Podcast. And also I host the Red Pill Current News Podcast, which is mainly we have interviews on there these days I just interviewed a young lady. She's a holistic healer. And I tell you, these guys that we've been having on the show, it's so fascinating, some of the stuff that they've been through and how they get to where their career is now. So it's been an interesting ride. But yeah, so that's the longest running show I've had is the Red Pill. And once again, they're on the same platforms. They're ran exactly the same. We drop new episodes on Against the Mat Wrestling Podcast every Monday and Friday. And then on the Red Pill Current News, we drop a podcast show episode every Wednesday and Saturday. Yeah.
All right, Dees, what you got coming up, man?
Well, we'll be recapping just like we did here. We'll be recapping the weekend and getting you ready for the championship weekend. You ready for championship football? And we'll mix some draft stuff. We're starting our draft coverage, so we'll start with some of that. And of course, we always throw some curveballs in there. So, join us on Thursday for Fit Down Sports Show. And, since the games are going so late, we might do a Sunday afternoon show.
That sounds like a good time right there.
So,
I appreciate y'all coming on, man. This has been another episode of Midday Sports with Rod and Lunch Crew. I had Kentucky Guy. Go check out his podcast and on iHeart, Pandora, where he said he's on all platforms. And go check out Fifth Down Sports. I appreciate y'all fellas coming on, man. Give me your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
And we're out.